My name is Jennifer Palmer. The purpose of my report is to inform our American employees of Iranian culture and social norms. With this knowledge, our company will be able to communicate and build professional relationships with business people in Iran. As U.S. businesses expand abroad, we must prepare ourselves to also expand. This report is significant because better understandings of Iranian culture will help build relationships, and relationships help build success. Imagine you have an appointment for a business meeting. Your guest arrives and you extend your hand to shake theirs. They look at you confused and bow, and you don't know whether to bow back. You spend the rest of your meeting a little offended that they didn't accept your handshake and ultimately distracted. We want to avoid situations like these. We will answer these important questions. Do Iranians practice religion? How are their food and housing different than what we have in America? What are the main aspects of life in a family unit? What are the differences in the roles of men and women? Which social customs influence interaction? And is there an emphasis on education? First, we will discuss religion. The highest values of the Islamic religion are belonging, humility, simplicity, harmony, and equity. Success is based on religious values and spirituality. God comes first, family comes second, and this impacts every aspect of their everyday lives. Next, we will discuss dining and cuisine. Eating is a social experience for Iranians. Breakfast is typically a lighter meal. It rarely has meat and is often served with tea. Lunch is the largest meal of the day and usually their main meal. It consists of rice, bread, meat, and vegetables. Dinner is also a light meal, just like breakfast. However, it usually consists of lunchtime leftovers. Alcohol is forbidden in their country and should not be discussed. Business meetings would best be held at lunchtime as this is their social hour. Next, we will discuss housing and development. Cities in Iran are overpopulated, while rural areas are somewhat deserted. While the cities are home to businessmen, rural areas are home to the poor and refugees. In 1990, the government offered a monetary incentive to build homes in undeveloped land. However, this was unsuccessful as Tehran, one of Iran's biggest cities, is still overcrowded and the rural areas still have much room for growth. The best location for a new business would be in the urban cities. Because this is where business people live, there is more opportunity for recruitment and for business ventures. Next, we will talk about the dimensions of family life and gender roles. It is customary in Iran for families to arrange marriages. This is beginning to change, however, in modern times, with men and women deciding to marry and arranging their own marriages. Because the country is Islamic, polygamy is permitted, however, it's not common. Due to the emphasis on family get-togethers and family values, it is not uncommon for cousins to marry each other. However, divorce is rare because it would be difficult for two people to separate from the same social circle. Men hold a higher employment rate than women do. They are expected to be the breadwinners. They also discipline the children and uphold the family reputation. Women, on the other hand, manage the household, raise the children, and spend little time in public. When they do go out in public, they're expected to have a full covering, which is called a chador. Now we will discuss social customs and interaction. Unrelated members of the opposite sex are not to interact. Same-sex members are often affectionate towards each other, whether it be holding hands or hugging. The greatest values socially for an Iranian are family and in-group orientation. They have a very collectivist culture, and young natives are taught to please others in their group and meet their expectations. These groups determine one's happiness and livelihood, and they find their identity within these circles. There's an undeniable bond and an unbreakable trust that is found with the people close to them. Only group insiders are to be trusted. They do not have any trust for people that are outside of their circle. To gain credibility and build trust, you must become part of their group. Business plans should also be group-oriented. They should reveal benefits for the greater good and also be presented in a way that's very upfront and honest. Now we will discuss education. Education in Iran is different from what we have in America. School is only required from ages 6 to 11, and they teach academics and Persian, which is the language spoken in Iran. After primary school, students are sorted based on their skills. Some choose to stay in school, some choose to only study science, and some pursue a trade. Regardless of what they do, they are expected to study Islam and to practice their faith. Higher education is not required, and because of this, many businessmen do not hold a degree. Next, we will talk about our conclusions. Reviewing the customs, culture, and expectations of the Iranian people leads to the following conclusions. First, members of the opposite sex cannot interact, which means they also cannot do business together. Second, credibility is based on spirituality and values rather than knowledge and education. Third, outsiders are never trusted, only people within the group. Close-knit groups equal trustworthiness. On the basis of these findings, we recommend that, to be respectful of social expectations, our male employees will meet with businessmen, and if necessary, we will have females on staff ready to meet with business women. In addition, employees must find common ground in morality with Iranian business people. High value should be placed on religious ideas, practices, and holidays. Finally, before attempting to establish a business relationship, our employees are to build a personal friendship with the Iranian people. Once this friendship is established, business proposals are more likely to be considered. Thank you for your time with this presentation, and I truly hope that this information helps our business with its success overseas.